I have a glass of water.
I got a aluminum can of water. Have you seen these?
Is that the buble?
The bubbly, but the buble. Yeah.
Here we go now.
Yeah. That's supposed to
I've
be
never tried
seasonal, I guess. Mary berry. Tastes honestly the same as all the other ones. So I don't know.
Do it.
Is it like a flavored sparkling water? Is that what that is?
Give me a minute. Yeah. It's a flavored sparkling water. It says right on it, sparkling water beverage. There you go. Mary berry buble.
That's a lot.
Yep.
I was I'm a little anxious today for reasons. You know, I'm trying a completely different setup for work, right? So part of the fun of my job, I think, is I get to try a bunch of different stuff that our clients might use.
Right.
And one thing I've been experimenting with, especially since the world kind of went hybrid, is what is the smallest footprint that you can do like a live streaming 4K podcast from at a reasonable price, right? Because you don't want to say, hey, spend $5,000 and you're going to have this.
Right.
It's like, what can you do for like $500? So I'm on a mic that's like $100 and an interface that's like $150, and like a camera and stuff. So maybe sub $500 gets all the gear minus the computer. And it's just like every time I hook up a bunch of new stuff, including like a B-roll shot, I have a second camera.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, because you see those context shots. Nobody likes to see two heads kind of talking to each other on the internet because it just reminds you of all of your webinars and web meetings. So I'm playing with a bunch of stuff. So if everything goes catastrophically wrong, sorry.
Oh, is this like the pilot?
This is the pilot.
We're testing. Oh, okay. Well, that was great. Let's test some stuff out. Yeah, let's do it. I'll be on your B-roll.
Why is your name Ikea Hacker?
Because last time we talked, I don't know if it was when we actually met face à face or last time we recorded, but you mentioned IKEA hacking and watching some YouTube videos and doing a deep dive on hacks. And then you sent me a picture that looked really, really nice.
Yeah.
And so Maya and I just today, unrelated, but everyone goes to IKEA, went to IKEA this morning, took advantage of the extra hour that I guess we have today, and did some stuff, got some good stuff, and just went to IKEA. I never got why people do this. It's so busy. Like from a branding perspective, they've figured this out. Like it's a whole thing. Yeah. People bring their kids run around, burn the energy. You have lunch in the restaurant. First of all, there's a restaurant. Second of all, halfway through, they know you're going to be hungry, you're tired. You sit down, you have a meal, and then you keep going. Like they've got this. They've got it figured out.
Do you have in Ontario, do they serve beer and alcohol?
No. Do they do that? Go ahead.
They do. Yes, they do. So you can stop midway and have yourself a nice, cold blonde and go, you know what, I can do this. Because I find a variety of things. One, I never go to IKEA on the weekend unless it's absolutely necessary. And if it is, I know what I'm going to get. So it's going to be just go pick it up. Because the weekends are like Costco on Sunday. I can't.
It's insane. Like the parking lot, it's a village. Like the parking lot is hundreds and hundreds of spots. They're all taken. People go there for hours. I mean, as you should, because it's a whole thing, and there's tons of stuff. And I don't know, man. I would like to sit in their marketing department or something, because like they've got everything. They got new arrivals. They've got the Christmas stuff, the holiday stuff already out. They've got this. They've got cool names for stuff. Like I'm just walking around like just impressed from a branding perspective.
Like we're an IKEA household in a lot of ways. But what you had mentioned is hacking the IKEA products is kind of the fun part of it. So here's the catalog suggested way that you use our stuff. But if you go on Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, you can find an entire world of these IKEA hackers that take the best of cabinets and turn them into these remarkable pieces of functional furniture beyond what they were intended to be. So, and it's just honestly, it's like spackle for me. It's a problem solver furniture wise. It's like I'm sitting at, because I needed a very dedicated video conferencing desk, right? Because I have a studio desk over there where I do all my recording and editing and music stuff, but it's not very functional as a place to actually sit down and have meetings and do work.
Right.
So I went to Ikea and got like the littlest desk I could, and got it assembled and got a little lamp for like $20. It's called a Farfignugan or something, and it's the easiest way to immediately get yourself into whatever setup it is you're looking for. The long term, though, I mean, IKEA stuff, I found you can assemble it once. You can maybe move it and assemble it twice, but there is no third time. The third time, no, that's it. It's out the door.
Well, that's the business model, because it's a more, not that it's a cheap place, it's still costly, but it's cheaper. I mean, it's just the return customer. People, you just go back and you're right. I'm not going to reassemble it. I'll just get a new one. Now my tastes have changed, and there's just people return and come back. And I mean, I love it. We're an IKEA household as well. We're hacking the office where I'm sitting right now. This is like our spare room office. You slept in this room.
Yep, I did.
To kind of get some stuff. And there's like just storage options that you can't, that's just really accessible. And I'm going to hang some stuff on the wall, and kind of realizing we're doing a spring cleaning in reverse, I guess. Winter, like just a lot of stuff that we lived here for like a year now. We realize, hey, we have like stuff that we don't use and we don't need. So let's get rid of some stuff, and then IKEA hacking the storage for the stuff that we're keeping. So that's a really adult, boring story, but that's my Sunday of this. Like, we did IKEA, and now we get to the fun of putting it all together.
Well, we're old, boring adults. This is the slope. It just keeps sliding down. I'm cool with that, though. Especially after reading about like that Nordic philosophy of Hygge.
Got the book.
And just kind of getting into that it's going to be winter. So I'm with you. Like, we're doing a variety of boring adult around the house, getting things ready, doing guest rooms and figuring out storage and rethinking the pantry and covering the patio furniture and stuff. And I don't care. I like it. I like how lame it can be. It's sort of fun. The thing that I'm always struggling with is that I think I only go to IKEA because that's where I'm at financially, right? If I had money for a designer, money for some custom built cabinets, money for high-end furniture that's, in fashion for the next 3 years, then I would probably just have somebody come in and do it. Because as much as I need to do it, I don't necessarily like doing it.
No, I hate it. I'll just say it. I hate that.
Fair enough.
I think it's interesting because for that, at least for me, I always ask myself, like, how long, if I'm getting design stuff, which I have never done, or like custom, how long am I going to live where I'm currently living? Because if it doesn't travel or it doesn't come with you to the next place, I think that's the brilliance of IKEA too. Is just like, it's like, it's good value for what it is. And if it doesn't travel to the next place, it's okay. You can go back and get another one, a replacement,
I've had tremendous success in the Facebook marketplace for IKEA furniture, right? Yeah. So we've moved a couple times in the last few years, right? We made a big move a couple of years ago to this area. And then, as you remember, we moved from one apartment to another within the same building, right? So a slightly different layout and all this stuff. And you end up with this kind of pile of IKEA furniture that maybe doesn't work in your new place. Facebook Marketplace, put it up for free. You've got a student or a new Canadian at your door in 20 minutes.
We got rid of stuff really quickly when we moved. Just like, I got to the point of just like, it's free. You're paying me by coming and taking it away. Like, I don't have to get rid of it. I don't have to dispose of it. Please come get it. And it's really, really, really easy.
Yep. What we ended up this particular round, we built like an inbuilt, mounted on the wall office for Atty. And the thing was, I went out and I got like a laser level and a tripod and stuff because I'm not very handy at all. Like, I can put a hole in the wall, but I don't know beyond that. So I had to learn kind of how to do all these things. And you think to yourself, it can't be that hard, but it is hard to do anything well, right? That's the thing. That's why people have skills.
I like to say
Because they learn their
everything's
craft.
easy when you know how to do it. When you don't know how to do
Right.
it,
So I've always been deathly afraid of like floating cabinets and shelves and things. I'm like, this is it. This is how I'm going to kill my partner. I'm going to mount these, shelving units 6 feet in the air. She's going to fill them with books and things, and it's going to fall on her head and kill her. And that's going to be my fault. And I don't know legally if that's just manslaughter or what, but I had to Google it to say, hey, I'm going to do this, but this might be your demise.
Did you find the stud?
I did find the stud. But I found actually a guy in Kitchener-Waterloo who shows you how to better hang things. So like these particular brackets that you put through the wall that super expand out and pull against the drywall, because you're not going to find a stud everywhere you need one.
Like a butterfly thing.
Like exactly. And these things, you can hang an elephant on them. So between that and the laser level and hanging them and then making the micro adjustments to the cabinet, I felt pretty manly and pretty proud of myself, and really sad when it's like, oh man, I'm going to have to take these off the wall and disassemble them and move them to another place. But it led to another great discovery of how to repair walls after you've put, holes and things in them, right? So I learned a whole bunch of things. I did a super good job of it, according to the contractors who came in after we moved. They're like, you guys did a great job fixing up the walls.
Nice.
I'm like, thank you. But I guess my long, boring adult story is to say that we wanted to mix it up and do something different with all of those modules. And Atty designed this really cool, low storage / bench / little desk at the end of it thing that you can only do and take those chances with IKEA that you can't do with other furniture.
I think so. I mean, Maya's really into that kind of stuff. Thank goodness, because I'm not like you. I'm not handy at all. I can't do any of these things. Mm-hmm. And she's just sees things that I can't see. And she's turned a lot of our place here into, what were closets and this and that, into coffee bars and this and that and other things. So I basically just said, you have a vision for this office, for this spare room / office. Let's do it. Like, I trust you. It's like, we need this, we need this. I'm like, so maybe the next time we do this show, I can update on what it's transformed into. Not that this is a big IKEA commercial, but I think I don't know, invent, or isn't TaskRabbit an IKEA thing, an IKEA baby?
I don't know if that's their product or not.
Or did they just partner with, because either way, that's like their evolution now. Because all over IKEA, when you walk around, we don't have beer here, so maybe we just have TaskRabbit, is don't want to put it together yourself? Get a TaskRabbit, which is like,
right. I'm not sure if the impetus of the company was IKEA or not. Either way, I think the partnership makes sense. One way to test a relationship is to assemble IKEA furniture together.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's number one. But I don't know if you guys have experienced this or not, since you're nesting. Mm-hmm. But like I forever rented fully furnished condominiums. That was my bag, right? So I never thought about or worked on any of this stuff until my 40s, like in my 40s, And at first you think, and I think this is maybe analogous to life, you've got this feeling that at some point you're going to get there and it's sort of done. And it's like, now I don't have to worry about this anymore. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's constant work, right? No. You're never at a place that it's good, you're done.
I joke with Maya, because she likes to say, when I move into a new place, and she's moved many, many times in her life, like, the first X number of months, I just get everything done, and then it's settled and it's done, and I can relax. But it's never done. It's absolutely never done. And I'm the same. I'm the idiot, but like, I didn't even know when you rented a place that you could do anything. Now there's all these YouTube channels about like renter free design, renter safe, this, that, the other, right? Where you can actually hang shelves and put holes in walls. And I'm like, I don't think the landlord likes that, but like people do this. And then you just put it back, I guess, when you move, I guess is the thing.
It's just a matter of what it has to be left like. So, our leases, you can do whatever you want, put holes and install cabinets and paint, and who cares, It just has to be the way that they rented it to you. And even here, they're actually pretty nice. They do all the painting again. They come in and they'll paint whatever needs to be done after the fact. So, but yeah, I've also moved into places where it's like, I really wanted to hang a poster, but I was afraid to, because I don't know. Am I supposed to do that or not?
Maybe it's a guy thing. I don't know. Do you have the same landlord now in this place? Is it a building?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a building. So there's a property manager who manages the whole thing.
So you didn't have a bad breakup then with your landlord in this case? It's the same person.
Not that I'm aware of. No. It was kind of nice because I didn't have to go through the rental application again. Right. So she's like, okay, well, we already know you. So that's easy.
Nice,
but there was that situation where I guess, like, maybe this is what you're getting at, is at the end of a landlord relationship.
Well, I've heard stories.
Get weird.
Yeah. And ours recently was kind of weird. I mean, nothing bad. Just like that peculiarity of wanting it to be what it was when you moved in, and I guess the interpretation of what it was when you moved in. There's obvious things like, hey, the wall was white, now it's purple, so obviously that's different. But like, hey, there's a crevice over here, or there's a groove over here, or there's a, you know what I mean? Just kind of like,
I know.
Really?
I know. And interpretations of the lease as well. I've been through that. But what I've learned, because I've moved so much, is make sure I go around and take a lot of pictures of things that I can see are clearly wrong immediately. Right? So go around and go, this is wrong, this needs to be fixed. And then if when I move, they say, hey, this is broken, and I have a dated picture that says, see, this was on the date that I moved in, and it looks like that. If you can do a tour with whomever you're renting from, that helps too.
It does. And now that we own here for the first time, I'm much more like, we don't have to change it. I'm thinking every time everything that we do is like, well, we don't have to like paint it back if we don't want to. We can just leave it. There is a thing of, staging it back to make it look nice for selling it, but I don't have I don't know if it's guilt, but just it's gonna be so much work to put this back. I think, no, it's fine. We own it. We can do whatever we want. That's a nice feeling. I like that. That's the hedge.
Have you heard? There was a Netflix special. It was Jonah Hill in therapy. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Because, it just, again, as we're talking about the constant work of working on a house and how I'm always thinking there's some sort of a grander analogy, it does remind me of that, of his Dr. Stutz. I think that's sort of the three things in life that you can't avoid, which was, I think, pain, anxiety, and constant work. Like, if you can accept that there's no avoiding these three things in life, there's no shortcut around them, you're going to be okay. So whenever I'm working on the house or moving to a new place, I'm like, okay, there's going to be a lot of pain, there's going to be a lot of anxiety, and there's going to be constant work. I find it pretty valuable advice.
Well, because if there isn't, then what is there? Like, you got to do something with your life. You got to, I think fixing up a house, or, a lot of people like doing that, but it's like a hobby, I guess, right? It's something to do for you. We like to talk into microphones, and this is one of our hobbies. We record, and we do this, and we edit. There's work can be interpreted as a positive word or as a negative word, but I think there will be pain. And I think that's comforting in a way to know that you're not alone, and that's just part of being a human. But put the work towards things that you like. Job aside, I guess, or ideally, but work on the home, or work on a passion project, or something like going to Ikea on a Sunday. Though I don't recommend it. The meatballs are delicious, so there can be work in getting in the door. But when you get the meatballs, you know what? They're tasty. They're tasty.
The old, it's not the destination, it's the journey. For me, I think I have no issue with the constant work. I'm comfortable with that. What bothers me is a sense of futility, where there's like this it's not going anywhere. Like I just keep going and going and going, and I'm not actually getting anywhere with it.
Right.
So that's, lately for me, that's where it's been, gosh, is there even a point where you don't have the anxiety that there are things that I need to be constantly doing? I guess the answer is no.
Interesting. Okay. So you feel like you need to always be doing something, or there's something else that you're not doing that you should be.
Right.
Okay.
Or there's always something still to be done.
Gotcha. No, I feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that quite a lot. When I do feel like that, I make a to-do list because I find that is temporarily helpful. The feeling then circles around again. But if I actually write down what is it that I should be doing or could be doing, and I write it down, it's usually less than I thought it was, or I felt like it was.
Do you remember I was told the last episode that we reinvented the answering machine?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I've been thinking a lot about that because going into these weekends, I've been super busy at work the last couple of weeks and getting busier even still because there's just so much to do. And then on the evenings and weekends, I'm pretty exhausted. And going into the weekend, I have this self-imposed expectation that I should be now doing these life things, these adulting things, working on this house, all of this stuff. And sometimes it's just like, I used to have this with my calendar. I would put a time block on my calendar that I'm going to work on a thing. And then when I would get to that date and that time, I was just not in that place. My body wasn't able to do it. My mind wasn't there. Other things interfered. And then I was just like self abusing myself, thinking, gosh, I should have done that. I set this time aside and then I get there. So it's like sometimes like on a Saturday, I was like, okay, now's the day to put together that bed and do that thing. And it's like, part of it is like all of that stuff that we're putting around it in expectations, I think just adds to maybe the displeasure of trying to get our homes together.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I think too, like you and I are the same in this. I'm not good at it and I don't enjoy it. Those are two things, there are two big obstacles or hurdles for me starting that task of if it's something that I enjoy, like what we're doing right now. Pretty simple for me to get in like Atomic Habits to like just start, but building a bed is not something that I enjoy, and I probably don't enjoy it because I'm not good at it. Those are connected ideas. So to sit down on a weekend for me to do that, it would be quite, it's hard. It's hard to start. It would be hard to start for me.
I'm a natural born check writer. That's where I'm at. I would love to interview potential designers who can, work with me to say, this is what I think are some Japandi notions that might work in your place. I can do lots of yes, no over spritzers and then go away for a month and come back and it's done.
Yeah. Yeah. There's two things that we've decided that we're not doing again. So this Murphy bed behind us was one of those things where we thought we could do it ourselves, and we did it ourselves, but man, was it a task. We're not doing that again. And then moving is the second one, where we've moved ourselves with my brother's help twice with a U-Haul, and that is not something we'll write the check the next time. We're not doing that again.
Oh yeah, I got a guy. I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
Even to a point where I'm so close to considering hiring people to do the packing. Like pretty close. Because it's oh man, just even talking about moving, I've moved so many times. I long for the days where the move was really just a couple of bags and then I'm gone. That's why I was always renting fully furnished places. I never really had to, the moving itself was just a little bit of paperwork and packing my clothes and going. But now it's like you've accumulated all of this life. Moving seems like an impossibility. It seems more realistic to go and rent another place somewhere else and keep both than it does to move.
It's daunting. Every time I move, I always remember, I forget how daunting it is. I'm kind of the opposite. I don't build it up and say, okay, we're going to move, whatever. And then in the, 3 to 4 weeks prior, where you have to put things in boxes and actually have to, holy crap, how much stuff do we have? I don't know. Like you just forget how much stuff you have. And then the daunt really gets on me. And I hate it. No, I hate it. I don't want to do it very often, ever again.
And you think to yourself, boy, I budgeted enough time to really go through and prune what I have and only bring the things that I want, and what's sparking joy as I'm doing this process.
There are people I know
But
that
what
move.
ends up happening
Oh, yeah.
What ends up happening for me is that in the end, there's the last 24 hours and I'm just shoving shit in boxes now that I have to go figure out 6 months later, wherever we've moved to. I'm opening this box of rando stuff. I'm going, oh man.
There's an evolution, right? You start at the beginning and you get all, at least I do, you get all cute about it, where you just like organized. Oh, the kitchen stuff will go here, and the stuff that we're not going to use for the next 4 weeks, we'll just pack those right away. And then the stuff that we need, okay, so we'll probably need this in the last week and in the last 2 days. And then by the end, you're right. It's just literally, we were doing that. Plates in boxes, this, that, and it's just like mayhem. And then the first 3 or 4 boxes have the Sharpie on it that, oh, these are the towels and these are this. And then everything else is just, who knows what's in this box? I have absolutely no idea.
It's a nightmare.
I know people who move pretty frequently, like every year or two they're moving, and I don't get it. I mean, there are many reasons to move, of course, but a lot of people just move down the street or in the same neighborhood or something, and they must be worth it, because the move actually, it's like travel. Love to travel, hate to travel, the airport, all that stuff. Hate moving. It must be worth it. I don't get it. I can't. It's the last thing I would want to do is move.
Yep. I mean, unless you have to.
Yeah.
Having said that, we just move voluntarily to another place. But it had another room, and it was a bigger place. So we're like, okay. And it's in the same building, so I don't need a trucky truck. I just need like people to haul things upstairs. And I don't need a super packy pack. I can just kind of pack and bring them upstairs.
And if you have overlap in terms of being out of the one place into the next one, then you can just kind of up and down the stairs a couple times for over the next week and taxi.
We had the overlap. We had the 2 sets of keys, so we were kind of going back and forth between the two, so it was easy-ish. But I don't know, because here again, like we are going through at any given time in Quebec as Anglophones existential crises. It's just the kind of nature of being a minority language speaker in this particular province. So as things are getting pushed further away from being friendly to us as a place to live, there's, the question comes up every lease. It's like, let's go down to, as Elon Musk weirdly says, first principles and go, what is it exactly? Like if we were to, base zero our lives and figure out what really matters to us, what do we really want? Forget about everything we've established so far. Is this the place that we would want to be? And inevitably, part of that conversation becomes, do I really want to pack all of this back up again and move somewhere else versus, just stay where I am and be relatively comfortable? So it's hard. There's no easy way to say it. It's hard.
Well, I think, moving sucks, but if on the other side of that is something that's better, then you should do it, right?
Eventually better. So, but I find that there's, depending on how you move, right? There's that sort of like, you're going to go through, it's going to be 6 months before you feel even a little bit settled. The first couple of months, you're living like raccoons out of boxes. It's just the way it is. Because you can't take a month off work as well and just focus on moving and focus on unpacking. We don't have that luxury, So maybe, like I go back to the minimalist books that I always enjoyed, and there was a period where I was just hyper reducing everything in my life to make sure that if and when I eventually will move, because I always inevitably will, it's pretty painless. But that hasn't been the case. I've been just pack ratting, buying stuff, filling rooms, assembling furniture. Like, I don't know.
You talked about Vancouver last time we did this show.
Yes.
Are you a Swiftie?
I'm not a Swiftie. I mean, look, I love my Tay-Tay, but I'm not a Swiftie.
Okay. Are you?
I'm more of a metal. I'm a metal guy. Like I'm going to Tool in a couple weeks, second row. So
Nice.
that's where I'm at.
I'm a Swiftie by association, I guess you can say.
Of course. By proxy.
And this whole Eras tour, the tickets thing of how you have to like register and apply, and there's a lottery. And anyway, there's a new one that opened up. My association let me know a few days ago in Vancouver for basically a year from now, next December. So we've applied.
Oh no.
Maybe the four of us will end up in Vancouver a year from now and be Swifties by association.
Hold on. Are you waiting to see what happens in the Swiftie lottery? Is that
we're waiting? Yeah, because she was only going to come to Toronto in terms of her Canada visit, and now she's opened up Vancouver slots. So
I saw that she did 3 shows or something in Vancouver. Yeah.
Next December. I don't remember the dates, but
you're being cagey here. Are you saying that you applied to potentially have 4 tickets?
So yes, as my understanding is, if you win or you're chosen, or however this works, you're eligible to purchase 4 tickets, I think is how it works. So we've entered, with all these different emails and whatever, and then you can do it this way and you can do it with this way and whatever. So we'll see. We did it for Toronto too. And obviously we were one of the 2 billion people who also did it and didn't get anything. So, but potentially, Vancouver next year. We'll have a housewarming party for you over there. And then we'll go see Tay-Tay.
First of all, any high quality live performance, I'm in. I don't care. We just went to see Raffi 2 weeks ago, and it was phenomenal at the National Center for Performing Arts in Ottawa. Front row seats, backstage access, meet Raffi. That's what I'm talking about. And for Tool, because we got robbed of our Tool tickets due to the pandemic, this year I joined their fan club. Because if you join the fan club, not because I want to be part of the fan club, you get early access to tickets. So it's either between my Amex card or fan club. I'm going to try from 2 angles to get good seats. Got second row, which is great. I got an offer to pay $400 and come backstage and take a picture with Tool. I'm going to pass on the $400 Instagram snap, but if it's a good show though, I don't care. I will absolutely go.
I don't care either. Yeah, it would be fun. I mean, I'm pretty indifferent, to be honest, in general. But like if it's a whole thing and it's a trip and you go to a cool city in Vancouver, we loved it. It was great. And the show is going to be phenomenal. So yeah, I would definitely be in for that.
Yeah, because when we went to Raffi, all the fun was actually packing up the kids, making a bunch of adventure things to do and activities in the back seat, and the going out for dinner before the show and stuff. Everything around it was almost as fun as the concert itself. And if you ask the kids what was the best part, they're like, the road trip was the best part of it all. So yeah, well, good luck. Fingers crossed.
Thank you.
I think the challenge is in Canada is that they don't, with remember the Leafs playoffs? Only Americans could buy tickets in Florida. I think the only way that you'd have a really good shot in Canada is if they did the same thing. Like if they let anybody in the world try and get those tickets, then there's going to be this whole enclave of Japanese people that are going to try and get those tickets, and they'll fly from Tokyo to Vancouver to see Tay-Tay.
Sure, absolutely. It's crazy. Like I don't quite understand. My understanding of why they're doing it like this is to try to avoid scalpers, basically, just buying, because there's a whole system, as I understand, and you can put your email in and you're eligible for only 2 tickets or 4 tickets or whatever. And there's a lottery, and the stadium's only so big, so 20,000 people win, per show. And it's supposed to avoid Joe Scalper buying 10,000 tickets at once and then reselling them for whatever. That's, as I understand it, I don't know if that's actually avoiding it. It just seems like a whole ordeal. But they've really either on purpose or not on purpose bent up demand for this, and people are just going crazy to apply for the ability to buy tickets, and it's it's a whole thing. I'm quite impressed with the marketing side of it. But it's just seems crazy to, is there a comparable to, I guess if you're living in real time, maybe you don't really know, but like, is this what it was like to get Michael Jackson tickets or the Beatles, or like, this seems insane to see someone she's the top of the music world right now, it seems like.
Sure. Once upon a time, you don't go online and buy tickets. There was no online. So you would go line up and buy tickets. So that's how that would normally work. Or you would call a radio station and hope to win tickets.
There you go.
You know, so there was this whole kind of actual physical way that you would have to do it. Scalpers were always and always will be scalpers. And frankly, I think that I'm grateful that there are, not necessarily because of what they're doing to ticket prices or how difficult it is to get tickets. You know, maybe there's more of that than there should be. But I like that on a given day, if I'm in the mood and I'm walking past the Bell Center and I don't know, the Canadians are playing like some rando team, and it's like, sure, let's pop in and get some nosebleeds and check out the game. I think that's pretty great, because otherwise you can't do that if it weren't for scalpers. I guess I could go on my phone and go to StubHub or Eventco or something and see if I can maybe get and go through a whole thing, or I can just give the guy $100 and go in and watch the thing. So I like the kind of the raw, old fashioned, you know, the Wild West. I'm getting tickets to a thing. But lately, I don't know if there's any analogy to it. Like maybe if you're going to like a super high end restaurant, you know, you make a reservation 6 months out in order to get in. But have you guys found in post-pandemic world, like as they promised, all of these luxury events, travel, concerts, restaurants are getting almost insanely expensive, like really, really unaffordable.
Absolutely. I mean, travel, yes, I was kind of always was, but just dinner outs, like I've really noticed that. And I know food prices are higher now, and especially in Canada, but just for the two of us, and I would classify this as like, you know, a nice dinner, but nothing crazy. You know, we're not going to Michelin star restaurants or anything, but you're in for $200 for two people for dinner. And man, like it never used to be like that. That it's just, and we're, you know, we're not ordering anything crazy. We're not doing 5-course, like just, you know, appetizer, dinner, a drink or two, and it's $200, and it's insane.
It's getting to a place where, and no fault of the restaurants. I mean, they've got their food costs and they've got their service costs, and they're adjusting as they need to. I worry that with what is affordable for folks these days, that, you know, restaurants as an example are going to price themselves out of business, not intentionally price themselves out of business, but by the nature of their costs become economically not viable. I was just, you know, when I went through to visit with you guys, more often pre-pandemic, I'd go through Toronto and stay like for a night, just grab a hotel downtown, grab some dinner, drinks, get on the train or plane and carry on. And that used to be maybe a $500 or $600 venture, because it's, you know, staying downtown Toronto for the night. Now it's well over a G. Like it's going to be $1,000 to stay downtown, go out for dinner, do a couple things and be gone. And that's pretty absurd.
Yeah. I do wonder, I have had this thought, if the future of restaurants in cities maybe is like not a sit down experience, is just a takeout experience where you have like really good food and people want to eat it, but they don't want to, you know, maybe it's just cheaper to just get takeout and go eat it at home. And then they don't need to, there's no storefront anymore, and it's just someone's kitchen where they're making the food. You know what I mean? Just because the rent, like here on Queen Street, the rent for a restaurant must be astronomical. But I don't know what they pay per month there. It must like tens of thousands probably per month just to exist, you know? So is the future of a restaurant to just not have that and just be a delivery only kind of service, you know?
I hope not, because a lot of food doesn't take away well.
No.
You know, that's the other challenge, is that it's, once you get it home, it's this kind of
you ever order noodles over Eats? Like,
yeah, right. No. Forget about it. Yeah. Speaking of noodles, I know that Maya was interested in this. Those Momofukus are fantastic.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with this noodle brand.
No.
Yeah, Momofuku. I'll send you a link. And, you order them on the internet and they show up and it's a big box of instant noodles. Who cares? Well, they're actually quite healthy and they're really good. And the sauces are phenomenal. And the texture of the noodles is perfect. So they're not like some weird Chinese cardboard coming in. And the way that you dress these noodles, the different accoutrements, like, stirring up some vegetables or some meat or tofu or whatever and putting them in. I have got restaurant quality noodle dishes going on here.
Really?
And easy, fast, so good. Yeah, because I know your partner had mentioned a little bit of envy when I mentioned that we're eating a lot of momofuku. Let me tell you, worth every penny.
Okay.
Worth every penny.
Momofuku.
Yep.
I'll pass it on.
Yep. I think there's a big trend, because this is actually somewhat related to people saying, I'm going to learn to keep just cooking my own good food at home. We had to pick up a lot of skills, I think, during the pandemic, and we're just going to carry on doing the same thing now out of necessity.
On that note, it's
cheaper.
It's cheap. Like using like Good Food, literally the Quebec company, Good Food is like the Canadian HelloFresh or whatever. I guess this says more about our spending habits, I guess, or just our habits. But we've been doing that, and it's cheaper. It's reduced our grocery bill significantly because we don't have to shop for dinner foods. Like, you go to the butcher, you get some meat or whatever. It's just really expensive right now. And now we're just, you go to the store, you buy coffee, you buy your fruits and vegetables and whatever, but we're not grocery shopping for dinner at all. And Good Food's pretty reasonably priced on it. Like, it's not cheap, but it's lower than what we were buying at the grocery store, which is insane. So, and it's delicious and it's easy to make and it's got lots of different options. But that's weird that would be a cheaper option.
I think we've touched on this before, though, in like to cook certain things. Like, there's only so much of a certain ingredient that I'll ever use before it goes bad, right? So, like I'm just not going to buy a giant. I don't know if you ever bought like fish sauce, or oyster flavored sauce. They come in these tall, giant bottles where I don't know what they do over there.
We had one last night or the other night that had capers in it, and we were saying like we would never buy capers at the store. Like, that's not something that we would buy. They're delicious, but like we would never buy that.
Exactly. And then I'm looking for ways to use capers forever. Though I'm a caper fan, it doesn't apply. Point is, like, I just need like this little thing of oyster flavored sauce. That's all I need. I don't need that big thing I'm going to throw away in a year. So for two people who only eat certain things every now and then, those make a ton of sense. It used to be, especially living in the city, that in many ways eating out as a couple, like just two people, was actually pretty cost effective. You can get lots of good, healthy food. Yeah. And if 50% of your meals you're eating out, it wasn't that expensive. But now, no way.
I think Good Food and I assume HelloFresh and the other ones have figured it out a little bit, because what we've noticed, and because you can go on, there's a whole menu, right? The week before you choose your meals, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot now that don't have protein or don't have meat, rather. Meat as an option.
Yep.
Or you pay extra for that. So one, obviously they've got their costs down by not including that. And they obviously have noticed that people don't need it, or, don't need to have a chicken breast with every meal that they've got. So I think that's part of it too. That's making it a lot cheaper, where you don't need to have the steak or the meat at every meal, and a little bit healthier for us too. And it's more cost effective, and you know what? It's working, and it solves that problem of, I mean, I don't come home from work per se, but after work, you're tired. What do we cook tonight? Don't have anything. Oh, let's just order out, more expensive. No, it's right there. It takes 20 minutes or whatever, and away you go.
I've turned into a total old man at Costco as well. Buying the 24 organic eggs. I get 3 2-liters of the Costco organic milk. There's things I'm like, I know I'm going to get high value here, good price, and it's going to last for 3-4 weeks. I think it's just a function of not necessarily being old, but just being a function of living in the economy as it stands.
Give me your Costco pitch, because we've been kicking that around recently. Should we get a Costco membership? Should we not? We haven't. Give me your elevator pitch for us to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Look, if you're hyper focused and you go in with a list and you know where the deals are, the savings can be tremendous, really tremendous. If you go in there just sort of freewheeling and fill your card up, it's going to cost you $600, and you're going to go, what did I even buy here, right? Mm-hmm. So that's number one. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially if you have one relatively close to you. So it's easy enough to go. Like for us, it's 15 minutes. We're in and out. But we know exactly what we're going to get. Like the organic chicken breasts, you can buy a big thing, split them, freeze them, delicious. They have some of the best beef going, and you can get it at a really good value. Milk, eggs, a lot of staples at Costco are cheaper than you're ever going to get, and the quality's super high. So what we end up doing is like our bulk first shop will be a Costco. And often there are like some surprises in there of things that are in season that are really good and well priced. And then the second is like, we'll go to a grocery store that's a little more boutique to get nice fruits and vegetables. And then, just use supermarkets to plug the holes. But it's kind of like that first go to Costco and, be a little bit like scrutinize some of the prices because they're not always good deals. And I'm not talking like you get 3 giant fucking things of ketchup. That's ridiculous. But there are some basics that are totally worth I don't know what the membership is, $75 a year or something like that.
Right. Okay. Good.
That's my pitch.
It's a good one. Having a list anywhere these days with the prices of food, gotta go in with a purpose. And that's like this good food dinner thing has helped us with that because now we have a very short list of things that we, coffee and your creamer and your fruits and vegetables, and that's really it, honestly. And you get out of there and it's $40 and you go home, and that's good.
The other on some goods, like some things like electronics, all kinds of things, frankly, even eyeglasses, tires, gas. There's some great prices, but what I've always enjoyed about Costco is they have, I think, something like a 6-month or 1-year return policy, no questions asked. You can buy an $800 vacuum, use it for 5 months, and just go, I don't like it, and bring it back. And they'll say, what's wrong with it? I said, I don't like it. It's like, okay, here's your money back.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, no hassle returns. So that helps. They really do actually stand behind the products and the customers. So
okay.
That's the second part of my Costco pitch. I don't know if you can hear a vacuum going in the background, but we're adulting.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, we looked at the Dysons today. We stopped at Canadian Tire as well, and our Dyson is I don't know, 5 years old or whatever, and the battery lasts not very long anymore. So, looking at Dyson. So big adult day today. Ikea hacking, Dyson vacuums, and the guy was like, if you wait a couple of weeks, November 20th, Black Friday, this is gonna be $200 off. So come back. So like, great, good tip.
Ooh.
Thank you for that. They had a Dyson rep.
This was the. Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
a nice surprise.
We have. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vacuums.
You have the what do you call
We have a robot.
The robot.
We have a Roomba. We have a Miele upright. We have a Miele canister. We have a really nice Black & Decker pivot handheld quick vac, and then we have like a little stick vac, and we like almost none of them. We have the sort of
really.
Yeah, we have some vacuum issues here.
Have you ever had a Dyson
in the house? No, and I don't know why she won't let me buy one.
Mm. Well, I can give her my elevator pitch for that because they're expensive but they're fantastic. Like,
yeah,
you should go talk to this guy I talked to today. Actually, he's the better one, but the technology is fantastic and great. No complaints other than the price, but they last for 5 or 6 years, so it pays for itself.
Okay, I'm gonna look into it again because I know that there's a lot of vacuums that are coming out of Japan that we don't get to see. That Dyson and all these other companies, Bissell and stuff, have SEO'd all these people out of existence as far as the North American internet goes. We've talked about this.
I remember that.
I'm telling you, though, that there's some stuff coming out of Japan right now that's just insane. And if you ask the Europeans, these are not the vacuums they're using. They're not the vacuums they're using. So that's the other part is that I feel like that we're being so heavily marketed to highly marked up products, and we're paying for their R&D and paying for their brand, and not necessarily we're not getting an $800 vacuum as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Maybe we are.
This one had lasers.
If it were me.
There's lasers on it.
Oh, you got the laser one.
The lasers. And you can see the filth on the floor right in front of you,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
want
they got
that.
the lasers.
Damn it. This was the most adult episode history of this show.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and do a couple loads and maybe clean the guest bathroom.
Laundry. Yeah, I'm gonna empty the dishwasher. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do next.
All right.